Good evening, everyone. We are about 24 hours away from the conclusion of Raw 25. I'm John Fisher with thoughts from the bench and Raw thoughts. This evening, I wanted to get into the 5 things, and there might be a bonus in there for you if you guys behave well.
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you describe the ruckus, sir?
From Raw last night. And why don't we just forget the charade? Let's just get right into it. Number 5. The show. Awful. It was awful. Beginning with Austin and McMahon, and I'm going to get down to a few of these are in my Fab 5 for the evening. From beginning to end, the Manhattan Center disaster, which might also appear in just a little bit, to 3 segments at the Manhattan Center, from Woken Matt Hardy losing clean in 4 minutes, all the way to the end where there was a build for the Rumble that lasted all of 2.5 minutes. The show was bad. The reviews were not good. Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Newsletter called it a huge disappointment. And even though the ratings were great, I feel that there's something that they just didn't do. And that is build to their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Number 4 continues the trend of negativity and pessimism. My jacket's too tight and it's making me ornery. The Manhattan Center disaster. I briefly spoke on it during number 5 of the Fab 5. It deserves a second mention. 3 segments in 3 hours. Tickets that were triple the price of normal Monday Night Raw tickets. I had a friend there live streaming onto Facebook. A lot of it was negative with chants filled with BS, literally, and chants of, "We want wrestling." They got wrestling. They got a 2.5 minute match from the Revival against the Club, and they got broken Matt Hardy against Bray Wyatt, 4 minutes with a clean pin, fade to black. Oh, they got Undertaker, who gave us some rhetoric as well about nothing. It was not good. The 2 arena system was not good. They had this problem during WrestleMania 1. The only reason they didn't have this problem when Shane McMahon took over Nitro is because that was planned probably for months. This was planned for even longer, and it still was not good. Fans were upset, money was wasted. There are numerous social media accounts that have posted videos from there with very angry people, and I am not surprised. Vince McMahon, you blew it. Before we get to number 3, I have a bonus. This episode of Thoughts from the Bench comes from the iCoPro sign, the best part of Raw 25. While you might like the iCoPro sign, there was a good moment from the Manhattan Center, and this took the 3rd spot of my Fab 5 this week, and that was the Bullet Club, aka the Balor Club, and DX, and Scott Hall. But don't worry, we'll cut to commercial right now.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Balor Club came out after DX did their thing. Scott Hall, the 1, 2, 3 Kid. By the way, the 1, 2, 3 chant was amazing. I'm glad people remembered that because they paid so much good money to see that for all of 10 seconds. They hugged. We know that Triple H and Finn Balor are great friends. Triple H brought him into NXT. They did their little shindig backstage where Triple H shakes the hands of all the new champions, and that's why Finn is put in this position. They came out. They did a little dance, they posed, did their little too sweet, they had a match, and the Revival, who cut a great promo last week on Raw, lost very quick. This segment was good. I liked it for what it was worth, despite the erroneous commercial break during an entrance of a WWE legend. Finn Balor was put in a prominent position. We know where he's going, and it's up, very, very up. If it matters, you know, the number 2 in the entire company put Finn Balor over on the biggest night on Monday Night Raw, I would say since Raw 1000 in 2012. Life's going to be good for Finn Balor, and I think that the meme is over because Finn Balor is over. 2 stunners.
What?
Make it 3.
What?
For the number 2 spot.
Then another.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Came out to do what we all thought he would.
Stunner!
we're damn glad that he did. Stunned Vince McMahon once after sharing a beer.
Austin stuns the boss!
Which he spilled on his son Shane, which was, I think, a really underrated part of that beginning segment. Stunned Shane twice. Austin did his thing.
Or they stay the same.
And it worked out very well. It was nostalgic. There was a lot of mixed reviews on social media after Stone Cold came out. The Barclays Center erupted, which we all thought would happen. Vince, with the segment with Shane and Stephanie before, I thought was very good. I thought there was the creativity was there. It was original. The only thing that I had a little bit of critique was that Shane and Stephanie had to start a GoFundMe account. I think they have more money than Josh and I will ever have in our lives combined unless one of us wins the lottery or either of us gets better looking. But until that happens, the GoFundMe thing, it was funny. It was what it was. They got Vince a plaque. He made fun of it, said that the only one that you have to thank is me because I did it myself, which is a shoot, brother. And Stone Cold saved the day. It was a great opening segment to the 25th anniversary of Raw. You couldn't ask for anything better. Actually, you could. On to my number one. I feel like there was only one or three men that deserve my number one spot on the Fab Five this week. That is Elias. The WWE still stands for Walk with Elias. Clearly, WWE management also believes so. As Elias was making his way to the ring backstage, we saw Chris Jericho hanging around in his Alpha Club t-shirt. Too sweet that brother. They engaged in what could only be thought of as a world-class banter fest, where Jericho was mocking his scarves. We had Elias say that he didn't want to collab with Jericho. He was too above him. Jericho put him on the list. The place went nuts. And then Elias came out to the ring, and this is where things started to turn a little bit. Instead of what we were hoping was a Rock-Elias confrontation, which I think we could get eventually, he called out Jimmy Fallon. By the way, on Jimmy Fallon's show, and I won't make this too long, there was a, lip sync? Some gimmick. It was a lip sync battle. The lip sync battle where Triple H and Stephanie beat the New Day, so Fallon would have to come on to the show. So Fallon was ringside. Elias started to sing to him. He started trashing The Rock. He trashed Cena. He trashed Jericho. Trashed everybody. And then Cena came out. Catered to the crowd. There were no CM Punk chants, unfortunately. But we got a beach ball. Too bad Cesaro was nowhere to be found. He would have destroyed it on the spot. Elias and Cena then engaged. Then we got Elias, who didn't look nervous at all, hit Cena over the back with the guitar. Number one spot. By far, Elias is the man. He's the guy. He's the big dog. I feel like Roman and Elias are going to have a feud somewhere down the line that we will be damn proud of. Because I'll tell you one thing. The Pittsburgh native, Elias, he is on the... if you listen to Edge and Christian's podcast, he is on the rocket strap to stardom. And I think tonight was that night. If you could get any positivity out of what mostly was a really bad show, Elias stole the hearts of many that night. So that's it for my Fab Five this week. No CM Punk return. No Josh. CM Punk isn't coming back in the Rumble, although I'm going to be naive and think he will. Speaking of, the Royal Rumble's in just a few days. Thoughts from the Bench is going to have so much content coming out. You are going to get sick of us. Well, I hope not. At least give us a follow first before you turn us off. On Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Instagram at Thoughts from the Bench. I'm John Fisher. You can follow me at John Fisher TV, Wrestling News Hub on Facebook, and Thoughts from the Bench on Facebook. I do it all, guys and girls. I wish Vince would do it all now like he did 20 to 30 years ago. Feel free to let us know your thoughts on Raw and what you were thinking going through what mainly was an average show. If you were at the Manhattan Center, please reach out to us. We would love to talk to you and see what you thought. Was it worth your money? Or is it going to be like the Rumble where Roman Reigns wins again? We'll see you all next week. Enjoy the Royal Rumble, folks. And don't forget Josh Alsace, Anastasia, and Derek, and the Indie Darling will be with you later on this week. We'll see you then.